Hello, and welcome to another Facebook Friday with Jones & Associates Law PC. I'm Jackie.
And I'm Connor Wigington.
Hey, we're so glad to see you because, as you know, we're excited. We're so excited.
We are so excited, and we bought Munchkins into the office.
We have Munchkins.
Deeming it Munchkin Friday.
Munchkin Friday. Donuts for the people. This is what we do. This is what your lawyers do on a casual Friday. We're excited because we're going to be meeting with someone about interns, so we're a little bit like, yay.
Very excited about that.
Very excited about that. But you guys have voted, and the name of the podcast is Jonesing for Justice. Woo, I think I need more light. We need more light.
Yeah,
yes.
There we go. Much
look
better. Look at the glow that we have.
This glow.
We're radiating.
We are radiating. You're right. This is kind of how we live here. We're serious lawyers, but, you know...
Sometimes we like to have fun, too.
And why shouldn't we when we're glowing?
When we're glowing.
So, the first thing is Jonesing for Justice. We've booked our first guest. Yeah, I know. Talking to us is great, and listening to our banter is, you know...
Yeah, it's obviously the highlight of everybody's week.
Highlight reel. Okay, but...
We want to spice it up.
We should have salsa music. Why don't we have salsa?
We should.
Totally.
We got to talk to the business manager.
Get
salsa music.
And some salsa. Actually, some actual salsa and tortilla chips. I could make, some pico de gala. I could do
and
some
queso.
Fresh...
Gotta get
always
queso.
room for cheese. There's always room for cheese. Okay, so we're excited.
We're very excited.
about the podcast because you don't just have to listen to us. You can listen to our guests. We have invited Baltazar Rubio of the Public Defender's Office to come and talk to us about access to justice and fairness and sort of justice for all because, people say a lot of times like, this person is a public defender, and I'm like, they're real lawyers, right? And I know Baltazar's a real lawyer because I trained him. As he tells everyone, I was his first legal boss. And I was like a boss in my 20s. Say it.
Boom.
Boom, baby. But it's really important to understand that most people in the criminal justice system cannot afford the kind of prices that they have out there. So having access to high-quality public defenders like Baltazar, huge.
And it's everyone's right to have counsel.
Absolutely. Now, hey, Michael, so glad to see you. You didn't call me. I told you in the last video, call me. No call, no show. I see you, Mike. My clients are going to be like, we're never listening to you again. I'm waiting for Officer Jones to jump on. He's like, I watch all your podcast things.
He's got to come on.
He's got to come on.
He's got to come on.
So, we're excited about Jonesing for Justice. I would love if some of our clients would write us, call us, check in, and say hey. And say they would be on the podcast so people can hear about their experience, whether they were fair or unfair. Sometimes we may have a criticism of what we did. Ouch. They may say we want our lawyers to do something different. We get it. But join us for the podcast and be a guest. Now, let's talk about today's topic really quickly. And it's going to be quick, we promise, because we have cool meetings coming up.
Very cool.
What to expect from your attorney.
What to expect and how to kind of mentally manage those expectations.
Right. Every time I meet with a client, for the most part, I say, listen, your type of case, because a lot of times things like, let's say divorces, nothing happens until it happens. Same with criminal. You can go long stretches where there's nothing. We're waiting on other people. And, hey, Mike, thanks for being a guest. We have our second guest booked. So, we will tell people it'll be nothing, and then it'll be a flurry of activity, and you'll wonder why I'm being billed a lot. And so we try to tell people there are ways to manage your bills, too, like our new Locked and Locked Up programs that are going to be sent to clients first.
Very exciting. We formatted the entire thing. Great deals to look forward to.
We're talking free legal services. We're talking discounts, the same discounts that we give our families.
And family rollovers.
Oh, yeah. And some of the other best stuff, access to private pages no one has and videos.
Closed
and
secret groups.
Closed and secret. Secret. So that's going to be part of our plan. But for people who are not on those plans and people who are trying to manage expectations, what are some ways that they could maybe not spend as much money on legal fees?
Well, it's always important to note that every time you call your attorney and you want to talk about your case, that is billable time.
It is.
Because we are directly talking about your case, and that's a standard practice for all private attorneys that you hire in the business.
But Connor, we gave him a way to do it for free, right? We have something called a portal. It is HIPAA level encrypted. I say that all the time because you hear it in your doctor's office. It's the highest level of encryption. We put the information into the portal. You can access it for free, right?
For free.
You get your court dates.
You get your
free.
court date.
Text messages.
Text messages? Why not?
Right, that's your court dates and your due dates.
Documentation that we filed. We scan it, we attach it right to the portal. You can see exactly what has been going on, what's been filed with your personal case.
Documents from the other side. So when you call us and you wonder why you're being billed for it because you had a quick question, it's because we provided a way for you to get all that information for free. So that's one way to manage your expectations. Use the portal system that we have set up. And if you're someone who's watching us from another jurisdiction or another attorney, go ahead and ask them if they have a way to help you with things like this. It's something we do. Not only because we want to give you good service, but because we're busy.
We are busy.
We're very busy. You can actually see my desk today, which is exciting.
It looks so great.
It's great. It's great. I should put pictures up on something. I don't know.
We should make it a cover photo for the firm.
It's not that great. It's not that great. Maybe I'll put it on the Google page or the Pinterest or the Instagram or the Twitter or the Facebook. Probably not the YouTube channel.
Probably not there yet.
So I would say this. You have to manage your expectations. Calling us, emailing, getting angry because you called at 8:30 before we were open, and then you called again before lunchtime, and you were told, one of us is in court, and then you called again an hour later because the person in court wanted to have lunch before they called you. Not acceptable. Probably not great.
And a lot of people view it as it's so interesting, Jackie. I was talking to one of my friends, and they sometimes view the legal work that we do as going to a doctor, getting tests done, and waiting for those results to come back, where it's a very systematic thing. And the legal field just does not work like that.
And we could do that, but it would cost you a lot more money. Some firms do that, and what they do is they say, hey, automatically call this client on this day so you can bill them. I worked in a big firm as an intern, and you basically had to find ways to bill. You had to find ways to make money. And so saying things like, hey, Anthony, saying things like, go and follow up with these clients even unnecessarily was a way that they made money, and I don't think that's fair.
No, it's absolutely not fair, but those firms just want to keep bill, because a lot of the bigger firms care about billing, they care about revenue, and they care how it looks on paper.
And we could care more about billing and revenue. Obviously, we, have bills and stuff.
Yeah.
Law school is expensive. We went to Villanova, Georgetown, expensive schools. But we're trying to give you the best value. So just because we are not calling you every day to say this happened doesn't mean something's not happening. And that's why, again, we say, look at the portal, because the portal is helpful. Another way I'd say to manage expectations is do not expect that only the attorney that you talk to will be the only one working on your case. We work as a team.
Always.
Connor, Dan, and I work together. Even some of our employees who are not full-time here, people like Vadir and Terry who still do some work, or my mom who does some billing for me sometimes, we all work as a team. Everyone has the same ethical obligation not to tell anything about your case or not to share any information. So if you call in and you only want to talk to Connor, but what you really want to know is what your court date is, let me or Dan answer it. We can look in the computer too.
We can also look in the computer.
Yeah. Sometimes people only want to talk to Jackie. Like, we know Jackie. We're used to Jackie. Jackie was our lawyer. And I'm like, Connor's a lawyer, and Connor actually drafted your motion. Or sometimes Connor argued it because
I am an attorney.
Right.
And I have argued.
And like for instance, I'm telling Connor right now, I have him doing a lot of the pretrial stuff. I'm like, Connor does all bail motions at this point because he's had great success. He's worked in the DA's office before, and he knows what they're looking for. He knows the people. I've done it for years, sure, but if I feel like Connor's the best fit, and by the way, your fee agreement says we choose who the best attorney is for it, then we let Connor do it because it makes sense. Or if there's a specialized issue, a lot of times you take the lead on research, right?
Yep.
So, specialized issue, he may have done all the research. He could quote the cases, by heart.
And then I actually did that at a preliminary hearing for one of our clients.
You did. And so calling and saying, I will only talk to Jackie, when Connor's the one who actually can tell you exactly the case law, so what? It's not smart for you. To ask us what you need. Here's the other thing they do. Hey, I want to talk to so-and-so attorney. What's it about? My case.
Can you please have so-and-so attorney call me back. Well, we can't do that because we need to know exactly what you want to talk about regarding your case. We have cases that we manage, and we want to spend as much time as we can on those cases to ensure that we get the best result for all of those cases.
Right.
So if you're going to call and you want to know something specifically about your case, it's important to give whoever answers the phone as much detail as possible.
Right. Remember, we were in the middle of a trial. At a trial, it was really big. We're all involved. I mean, it was, involving someone who died. So it was really important that we be involved, which means we're there first thing in the morning until the court closes.
6 at night.
Yeah, I mean, and we're like the end because everyone else is gone, and the only people there are our case and the park police who handle the doors,
and
right?
The park police too.
So we come back and we're trying to check messages real quick. And mind you, the judge gives us assignments to do at night, like have all these things ready for tomorrow. And your message says, call me about my case. Well, your case is a standard divorce case, right? There's nothing going on. I haven't seen my kids for 9-10 hours. Am I going to call you right back if you just say that? I mean, I'll try, but honestly, I'm hungry, I'm tired, whatever. But if you say, my ex-husband took the kids and he won't return them, I know that's an emergency.
Which is why, going off of your point, Jackie, which is why the portal is such an incredible thing.
It is.
You can write that down. It's encrypted. We have access to that portal.
Right in court. We can see it.
All the time. Pulling it up on my phone. And by the way, this is important too. Attorneys have access to their phones in court.
Only attorneys.
Only attorneys, though.
So, guys, thank you for joining us. You will hear more from us. And we're going to get ready for our next meeting.
Sounds like a plan.
Great. Have
Tune
a
in
great
next week.
Facebook Friday. Bye.